Welcome back to Sous Vide Everything, guys. Today I have a very special video for you and I hope you enjoy it. Check it out.
And we start off with a monster 22 pounds chuck roast. This is by far the biggest meat I've ever tried to dry age. And as you already know, the bigger the meat, the better for dry aging. Never dry age just one steak, because by the end you might not have anything left. And after it was removed from the packaging, this is what it looks like. Buying large cuts of meat like this is always better. There are so many uses for it, and today I'm gonna show you how I take this whole thing dry age in several different cuts, because we all know dry aging is a great tenderizer for tough cut meat like this. And to dry age it, I'm going to be using the My Dry system. As you might already know, these bags are great because it allows you to dry age at home without any special equipment. The only thing you have to do is put the whole thing inside of the bag, vacuum seal them using this special fabric that comes with the kit, make sure to remove as much air out as possible, and set them on a cooling rack so the air can circulate all the way through. Now that everything is done, there's nothing else to do but put it on my refrigerator so that it can dry age for a total of 35 days. Once the time had elapsed, I took it out of my refrigerator, removed the bag, and this is what it looks like. Like every dry age, the first thing we need to do is to remove all the pellicles. That's the outer skin that is formed whenever you're going through the dry aging process. And one thing I always like to remind all of my subscribers is that don't be cheap. Remove all of it. Once I was done, this is what it looks like. And if we study the muscle, here is the chuck roe. You can either make roast or it's also good for some steaks. And for today, I'm going to be doing two things. I'm going to make some beautiful chuck steaks and also a chuck roast. That way we can find out which one is best to cook sous vide. And here's an interesting chuck steak. This right here, the bottom is a part of the ribeye, so that will be really nice to enjoy as a steak. And the top part is going to be a little bit tough, so it's perfect for burgers. So the next thing I decided to do is to remove the whole chuck roast, because that will be a nice large roast. And once I was done with the butchering, this is what it looks like. We have two beautiful steaks which still needs to be trimmed, and also the roast. And talking about the trimmings, I just removed the top part. Then by the time I was done, I was left with a beautiful steak. And since it comes from a part of the ribeye, you can expect it to be awesome. For the seasoning, I kept it pretty simple with salt, freshly ground black pepper, and garlic powder. Like always, I'm really looking forward to tasting the meat and not the seasoning. So always keep it as simple as possible. And remember to season all sides, including the edges. Now all there's left to do is to bag them up, vacuum seal them, and get them ready for the water bath. But first, we gotta take care of our roast. And as you can see, it is a beauty. I started by trussing it because that will allow it to keep its shape. That's exactly what you want to do in traditional cooks to make sure it cooks evenly. For the seasoning, I started with salt, freshly ground black pepper, garlic powder, and finished it off with Guga's rub. To ensure that every single edge is coated, the easiest way to do it is to season your board. And as you can see, by the time I was done, I was left with a perfectly seasoned roast. Since we're gonna be cooking this for a very long time and it's gonna be super tender, I like to pre-sear it. And for that, of course, I'm going to be using my flamethrower. It is quick, fast, and most important, a lot of fun. And if you have one, always use it because it will give you perfection every single time. Once the searing was done, as you can see, it is perfection. This is why I love that flamethrower. But all there's left to do is to put it in a vacuum bag, seal it, and get it ready for the water bath. Talking about that, I'm cooking my beautiful steaks at 135 degrees Fahrenheit for 2.5 hours. But the chuck roast, I'm also cooking at 135, but a total of 7 hours. And I really can't wait to give them a try.
They smell absolutely fantastic, everybody. Now, I don't smell the dry aginess which you would expect. I can't wait to find out how the roast is gonna be, but with this one itself here, it feels super tender. As I was picking it up with my tongues, it feels just like a ribeye, and that's very surprising for a chuck steak, you know what I mean? Remember, if we don't pat it dry nicely, that sear won't be as pronounced, and we love that crust. It smells incredible, but most importantly, look at how it looks, just like a nice, beautiful roast. This wagyu right here, as you can see, there's not a lot of it. So it's a very concentrated, beefy flavor that needs nothing else. So normally I do two things with it. I either save it so that as I'm eating, I can dip my, roast on it, or you can throw a little bit of butter in there, mix it all together, and use it as a basting sauce as you're searing. Because what happens when you're searing is the meats get very dry because you're searing it, then it comes all back up. And you're just developing additional flavor by doing the basting. And I'm torn to find out which one I'm gonna do. You're gonna find out in the video which one I feel like it, but either way is good. But anyway, guys, like always, I do have to pat it dry so that I can get a wonderful sear. But I know it doesn't look that, well, it looks good already.
It looks awesome.
You don't have to sear it again. This is just me developing additional flavor. It looks good, but it's gonna look a lot better. Watch this. All right, we have our beautiful steaks over here. What do you think, Mamazing?
They look amazing.
They smell 10 times better than they look, and I hope I did it justice on the camera. It's cheap, it's affordable, and it should be amazing. And this is our appetizer before we get the roast. Okay, enough talking, go for it.
All right.
I'm really excited about this one.
Really soft, really juicy.
Oh, super
Right
tender. Falling apart.
It's breaking over here.
It's falling apart. All right, you ready for this? Oh, you're going all in.
I'm going all in.
Mama's gonna take a while on this one, everybody. Cheers, everybody.
Wow.
That is what I'm talking about.
Wow, it looks like a ribeye.
It is, if not more tender than a ribeye. Super tender.
Oh my God.
The dry aginess is coming through very lightly.
It's very delicate, but it's there.
Yep, very soft dry aged taste.
Wow.
Super tender, extremely juicy. That is a phenomenal steak.
And this is not a ribeye?
It is not a ribeye. It is a chuck roast. Like a chuck end, right when the ribeye finishes, this is a chuck end. It's much more affordable. It was dry aged, obviously. You can feel it, like it lingers in your mouth in the end,
the
everybody.
Little umami, extra little something is right there. But my God, this is amazing. This is amazing, guys.
All right, everybody, here we have our roast. What do you think, Mama?
I'm hungry again.
I know, right? We just had our appetizer, but it smells so wonderful. And my family was like, can you guys hurry up? Because they want to eat. Let's see if it's much different from a steak. Ooh. It is extremely juicy.
Extremely soft.
It's just like a prime rib or something.
Yeah.
It's so, wow. Okay, since you already know it's dry age, I want to know if it has a dry age flavor. I want to know if it's tender. We're going to let you guys know and see if it's worth going through all that trouble. Cheers, everybody. Oh, it's dripping.
Wow.
I want to say it's better than prime rib.
Wow.
That is amazing. It's amazing every way.
Damn.
That's good.
That's good.
Super tender. To me, at least, it tastes a lot better than the prime rib. What do you think?
Definitely yes. Wow, it's so soft, guys.
It's so tender, right?
It's almost meat jello.
It is affordable. It is easy to do. It does take time, but hey, the holidays is all about taking a little bit of time.
It doesn't take time. It takes a little bit of planning.
A little bit of planning, exactly, because it's
You
sits there.
You put it there, let it sit.
Exactly.
And then you come back and it's already done.
Actual physical work of this, me working with it, maybe it took me an hour and a half. The whole process, an hour and a half. But yeah, it took a few days because it was just taking a nap on the refrigerator. Yeah, it just took a nap, everybody. That's what it did. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do enjoy this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, be sure to subscribe for future videos. Remember, if you are interested in anything I use, everything is always in the description down below. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye. Let me know what you want me to dry age next, because I am a huge fan of dry age.
I'm all for those experiments.
I know. You get to eat, I get to make, which is what I love to do. Thank you for watching, guys. We'll see you on the next one. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
See ya.